everyone. Thank you for joining the Savvy Sales Lady Live. I keep saying this, but I love that music. I really do. Today, we are going to talk about something that is so important, but it's often ignored or discounted as not being important. But I have two stories to tell you on today's Savvy Sales Lady Live. Right now, I am currently working with a young man who's never cold called. His boss sent him to me to help him learn how to properly cold call, how to learn the proper cold calling sequence, and to help him with his confidence. You know, the truth is you could use the perfect pitch, the best solution, and you could have the right product and service for the prospect. But if your voice doesn't match your product or service's value, your prospect won't believe a word of it. So this young sales rep I've been coaching, boy, is he trying hard, but he gets flustered easily. I mean, he's never done it before. Of course, he's getting flustered easily. But after working with him for a few months, he's greatly improved and is now booking meetings like a pro. So today, I'm going to share with you one strategy I taught him, and it's the most overlooked sales skills. And that's how your voice communicates your confidence or your insecurity. But here's the second part of that. Your body language does affect your tone, even over the phone. I have research to share. By the end of this episode, I'll give you a simple voice power test to find out if you're accidentally shrinking your value just by how you sound. It's the same test I gave my young client. So stay with me until the end. Okay, let's dive right into it, shall we? Okay, here's what we're going to go over. We're going to cover what it means to shrink your voice. Your body language speaks through your voice, and how to stop shrinking and start owning your voice. And then I'm going to give you another client example. So, what exactly does it mean to shrink your voice? Let's get real. Shrinking your voice doesn't mean you whisper. So I'm not talking about whispering. It means that you end your statements like questions. We could schedule a meeting. See how that lacks confidence? Or you lower your voice when discussing the price because you're uncomfortable about discussing the price. Or you rush through your value prop just to get it over with. And this is what this young man kept doing. And this is the second thing he kept doing, apologizing constantly. Sorry if this isn't a good time, or I'm sorry if I interrupted your day. Of course you interrupted his day or her day. That's a given. You don't have to apologize for it. Apologies mean you've made a mistake. You haven't made a mistake. You intentionally called them. And small business owners and large businesses, they know they're going to get a certain amount of cold calls each day. They just know that. It's part of business. So does this sound familiar? That's the hidden hesitation and it's costing you deals. Why does this happen? Well, conditioning. Cultural messages telling us to be nice, humble, and not too assertive. But here's the truth. You can be kind and still be assertive. Now, I didn't say aggressive. I said assertive. And your voice can and should reflect that. Have you ever been in a selling situation where someone's selling to you and you keep waiting for them to ask for the sale and they never do? And you walk away thinking, what was that all about? I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me in the past. When you're in a selling situation as a buyer, you expect people to ask you for the sale or to ask to book an appointment. What's the point of the call, or what's the point of the sales presentation if you're not going to ask at the end, right? But so many people shrink and not ask. All right, let's go to the next step. Okay, your body speaks through your voice. Now, let's tie this into something powerful, your body language. Even over the phone, your body affects your voice. Let me get out my phone. If you're kind of huddled down like this when you're making phone calls, that's going to have a direct effect on your voice. Even over the phone, your body affects your voice. Now, a study from the University of Southern California found that in phone conversations, tone of voice accounts for 84% of the message, and only 16% comes from the words you actually say. That source is from funz.net. FUNDZ.net. So yes, posture, your breathing, even your facial expressions, they all bleed into your tone. Like I said, if you're slouched over in a chair or you're scrolling through your inbox while you're trying to talk to a prospect, guess what? Your prospect feels that energy. Now, I know, admit it, there have been times you've been on the phone with a prospect or maybe a customer, and you get a text message and you quickly look at that text message and you've become distracted, right? And you didn't fully hear what the prospect was saying. We've all done that. You have to not do that because it does affect that conversation. Your prospect feels your energy, just like you can feel the energy of the prospect. I had an interesting conversation with another one of my coaching clients who told me that when she gets a prospect on the phone that is sort of monotone and talks slow, that she gets intimidated by that. And so I coached her, that's a clue for you to be more monotoned and slow talking as well. Well, when we met again for a coaching session, she said that really worked for her. So you've got to match that tone and pace. Now, if you sit up tall and you smile and you gesture while speaking, your voice sounds more confident, clear, and energetic. But as this coaching client said to me she realized that her upbeat tone was irritating that client that was more monotone and slow pacing in his speech. So you've got to pay attention. You start out being confident, clear, and energetic. But if that person on the other line is more monotone and slow pace, drop the energy and match their pace and tone. Why do we do that? Because we want that other person to feel comfortable talking to us. And when you make the prospect feel comfortable, they have a tendency to start trusting you more and more willing to build rapport. That's why you do that. Now, Ring Square also reports that using hand gestures while speaking, yes, even when you're not on video, improves vocal clarity and enthusiasm. And that's from ringsquared.com. I'm a person that uses my hands a lot, even when I'm talking on the phone. So here's another tip I gave my young sales rep. Stand up when you sell. Use your hands. Smile when you speak, because your body drives your vocal authority. All right, let's move on to step 3. Step 3 is how to stop shrinking and start owning your voice. So here's my favorite ways to command your voice. This is what I do. I practice reading my pitch out loud while standing. Record yourself. I say this all the time. And ask, do I sound convinced or do I sound concerned? How do I sound? Because that's how the prospect's going to hear you. Replace weak phrases like, I think this might help, with, here's how this helps you win, or here's how this helps you solve that problem. Instead of, would you be open to booking an appointment, you'll say instead, let's get this scheduled. How does Tuesday at 2:30 look for you? All right, now I want to bring you to the 4 C's of confident sales voice. And that's clear, calm, confident, and convincing. And the only way you're going to know this is by 2 ways. You record yourself and you check off that yes, you're clear, yes, you're calm, yes, you're confident, and yes, you're convincing. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's why it's so important for you to record, and practice. All right, we're going to take a short break and be right back for more Stop Shrinking in Sales Conversation tips. Your voice is your value. This is Christine Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady. Imagine picking up the phone with total confidence and knowing what to say and how to say it. My Cold Call Masterclass has helped thousands of salespeople crush their goals and skyrocket their quotas. You'll walk away with my step-by-step method of how I close 26 deals in 9 days with only 52 prospects. And I've not done that once. I've done that many times. Ready to master cold calling? Why wait? Enroll in the Cold Calling Masterclass today, and you'll start closing deals tomorrow. Click the link below to join now. Let's make those calls count. I'll see you inside. Stay savvy. All righty, we're back. Okay, the 4 C's of confident sales voice: clear, calm, confident, and convincing. Use them before every call, when you record, before you call. I can't say this enough. Practice, practice, practice before you make that call. Why? Because you have to warm up your voice, number one, but you're a professional. Professionals practice, just like professional athletes practice before they go out on a field to play a game. All right, now I want to tell you one more story. So let's get back to our checklist. This is an example of another client that I worked with. Now, she's a brilliant woman and she gives incredible service, but she kept hearing, "We'll think about it." We reviewed one of her recorded calls and it was solid, but her tone, she sounded like she didn't believe what she was saying. Once we adjusted her posture, practiced her pauses, and gave her permission to own her authority, she closed the next 3 prospects that she talked to. No extra tactics needed. We just had to have her sound more confident and believe in what she was doing and in the services she was providing. Okay, let's move on. Your voice is your value. If you shrink it, you shrink your impact and your income. So here's your challenge. Record your next pitch and listen to it like a prospect would. Do you hear confident leader or cautious messenger? And if you want help stepping into your full sales power, book a sales coaching power session with me. We'll uncover where your voice isn't matching your value and we'll fix it. So before you go, here is the voice confidence boost checklist. You're going to stand up or sit upright. No slouching, right? Smile before you dial. Use hand gestures to stay expressive when you're on the phone. Pause and breathe to steady your pace. Record and review your tone. Use the 4 C's that we went over. Is it leading or is it pleading? You'll be able to hear it if you're recording it. Okay. Now, all of these tips I'll have for you in a handout, and it's called Speak to Sell Voice Confident Checklist. So you can print this, and as I've told you before, my handouts are very basic. They're meant to be printed and placed at your desk so that you have them ready to reference before you make your calls. This one is the very same thing. It's a checklist before you make your calls. So keep it by your phone or your Zoom cam before every call. Because when you speak like a leader, you sell like one too. That's a given. All right. You can do this. Yes, you can. And I will see you next Thursday, or I should say this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. on the Savvy Sales Lady Live, and we'll go over more tips to help you sell just a little bit more. Now, I've got a quick announcement to make, so stay with me. I'm like you, a regular salesperson who bumped up against trying to cold call and failed, trying to close deals and failed, getting all tongue-tied when asking for the sale. Major fail. I've been in sales for 4 decades, and I've failed a lot. Think about this. I've had 40 years of rejection hitting me in the face. But in spite of all the rejection, I built 3 $30 million books of business over a 40-year time span. Not 1, but 3. How did I do this? I cracked the code for cold calling. Over the past 11 years, I have coached and trained hundreds of salespeople just like you on my cold calling system. But hey, why should you listen to me? Here's why.
Hi, this is Olivia Mitchell with Crouching Tigers. I hired Christine to cold call for my company, and she was able to sell 26 accounts in 9 days. I actually had to ask her to put the brakes on it as we needed to hire more staff. You will definitely benefit from Christine's course.
And there are many more testimonials. Drop the word coach in the comments below, and I'll send you a link to schedule a free coaching session. And I'll share a few of my cold calling techniques that you can use immediately. Cold calling doesn't need to feel embarrassing. I can give you the words to use, plus the technique and the system, so you'll feel and sound like a professional. Why not learn a few powerful but simple tips to help you close sales? Type coach in the comment section below, and I'll reply with the link so you can book a time that's best for you to schedule your 30-minute free coaching session. That's all you need to do to begin winning again. Stay savvy.